Hey guys, NarcArmor here, back with another one. Today's topic I want to touch on is dating sites that are filled with narcissists. So, as you can probably imagine, given the very nature of the narcissist and how they, you know, look at people like they're looking at a menu and trying to pick a food item for that particular meal, much as like their approach to anything as far as online dating apps, or maybe even there's also, I know there's different religious apps for people who are looking to get married from the same quote unquote religion, because I'm not sure that narcissists really have a religion other than being demonic and following evil. um, Nonetheless, right, they're looking to entrap and ensnare people into, their very calculated schemes. And so, you know, when you think about a dating app, it it's sort of akin to, a level of interaction that the narcissist doesn't necessarily have to show, any sort of level of deep emotion, right? Like it's not like, you're meeting somebody one on one and having kind of that sort of level of interaction, and establishing some sort of, understanding with that individual in the physical sense. If you're sitting across from somebody, and sharing a meal, is a lot different than somebody just kind of scrolling through, looking at pics and bios and this, that, and the other, and texting and chatting. It's like, it's very, it lacks any sort of emotional type of connection, right? And keep in mind, when the narcissist is looking for a partner, in any of these online forums, right? These dating apps, they're they're not having to show anything as far as any sort of emotions and whatnot, right? And that isn't going to have to come out really in the form of the texting and the online chat, right? That they might be engaging with a potential target of the narcissist that they want to ensnare and pull into a toxic relationship. Okay? These folks, again, I mean, they're going to be scrolling through these profiles just like they're picking out something off the menu. You know, it's just sort of what it is. Very, very transactional, right? And another thing that you kind of have to be mindful of, and this is where kind of like they start to kind of ensnare you, and it's sort of like, they cast their, they cast the rod or the net out, right? And then, you start to engage with them. Well, what's going to happen? They're going to take the opportunity, because again, they don't have a level of emotional connection with you when they're just doing everything virtually. They're going to ask a lot of questions. And why are they going to ask a lot of questions? Well, they're going to ask a lot of questions because they want to get to know you for you, in terms of your preferences, how you move, how you operate, how you think. So, what are they really doing? Well, they're performing recon on you, right? They want to get as much information about you and out of you. You are their target. And so that the unsuspecting individual, what that individual who their target is essentially giving them all of this information, volunteering all of this information, right? And this is kind of, again, we're going to constantly, NarcArmor is all about setting boundaries. So this is where they're also going to start testing your boundaries. in a very preliminary and a very what's seeming to be non-threatening in the approach, and that's what they want, because guess what they're going to do once they get all of this information on you? Well, folks, they are going to start the mirroring schemes, right? So that you start to think, oh my gosh, could it be? Is this really somebody who's could, be a strong potential match? Is this somebody who I think that I could actually align with and have shared perspectives with, and grow with, and that, could really understand me? Well, they're understanding you all right. They're understanding what they need to reflect back to you, because anybody who gets into an entanglement with the narcissist, that narcissist is essentially mirroring back to them a reflection that you would hope to see and hope to find, again, not suspecting that it's all lies. I would even go so far as to say is, did you ever really know the narcissist personality outside the evil, immoral, unethical, lying, stealing, cheating, thieving things that they've done, manipulation, all these dirty things that they engage in during the course of the situationship? So, setting that aside for a moment, and in terms of that's who they really are, they're not going to give you that up front, right? Because they got to get you in, they got to get you ensnared, they got to get caught in that trap. That honey pot has been set. That honey pot is there so that it entraps you and gets you into this flow and dynamic of accepting them into your world, right? Because think about it, if any of these, situations, like you go from meeting somebody and then you physically meet them, and then, you're dating, and then maybe, and especially on the religious, and I would caution anyone who's looking for a partner, of the same religious beliefs, regardless of whatever you believe in, because there's apps for everything these days, right? It's very dangerous because, you know, you have somebody trying to live morally, let's say, that's looking for a spouse that can live in the same context of beliefs and morals and so forth. But they just look at that as that person can be ensnared easier, because I could easily mirror that. And some of these people, right, they grew up in those religious households. Bad apples come off of good trees, folks, right? So they can be as non-religious and as evil as can be under the surface, but they're selling you what you think you want, and what they think based on their recon on you is what you want to get you to commit, right? Right? And get legally married and whatever, because now assets become commingled, all of this stuff, you leave them because they're cheating, because they're doing whatever, or they're just toxic, or vice versa. Now all of a sudden they got access, and they may try to assert rights onto your assets, etc. Right? So it's just messy trying to get untangled. Right? It's doable, definitely doable, but the point I'm trying to make is that they're selling you a dream. The dream that you had the intent of pursuing when you determined and decided to go and get on a dating app. or a marital app, right? And so they are asking all these questions, they're getting all this information up front, and they can do other things, right? In the context of the mirroring, they're going to pour on that virtual charm, right? They're going to really pour it on thick, okay? Because what they want is they want for you to have like this perspective that, you know what, I think I can be authentic, um, and potentially put down some boundaries. And by the way, they're going to test those boundaries on certain things, right? For example, if if certain beliefs don't include substance abuse, you know, are they going to share with you that maybe they partake in certain things as far as substances are concerned, or drinking, what have you? Maybe they want to see how you react. Anything's possible, right? Any sort of immoral behavior, that kind of thing. So they may try to kind of, again, push some of those boundaries very preliminary, so subtly, because they're kind of feeling you out, and they're kind of doing it under the guise of, well, you know, values, or how would I want to live, you know, and those kinds of things. And obviously, again, I'll say this, that if you're on the other side of this thing, or you've determined that you're going to leave your narcissist, or you're on your healing journey somewhere, uh, short, medium, long term, in terms of your healing, and self development, you'll realize, right, that um, there's certain things that they sold you on that just simply weren't true, right? Um, and at the same token, you're going to reflect on where do you have to have sharp boundaries. And the key thing also, guys, is, and I would, my perspective on the dating apps and the marital things is just, they're just not worth it. You're better off meeting somebody through like a mutual friend or something. I mean, obviously this is when you've really healed and you're ready for something of that nature. Um, but why? Because, if there are people that you trust in your life, that you've known for a while, that you can rely upon, you know, more often than not, it's less likely that you would encounter, a narcissist in that respect. But because of the things that I mentioned early here in this episode around, just their ability to perform recon, to mirror you, to lay on the virtual charm, and you're not seeing them day to day and interacting with them in a more intimate light, it's just much easier for them to reel you in and to scope you out, and then to sell you a dream that really turns out to be a living nightmare, right? So with that, guys, just wanted to make you watch out for these honey pots that that these narcissists place out on these dating and marital relationship apps. You know, I'd steer clear. I steer clear of them. So everyone's life is their life, but hey, I just wanted to outline this for you, give you some food for thought, and hopefully that also helps you with whatever choices you make in life. To continue to think about your boundaries and your interactions and the types of interactions and places where these folks frequent, so that we can navigate our life around them and away from them, and into healthy, nurturing relationships, that hit the mark for all of us. So I wish you all the best. You guys take care, and always remember, stay armored up. Until next time, I'm out.